April was a little girl who lived in a small, quiet village with small houses and green trees. Cows walked slowly on the roads. April loved her village. One morning, April woke up early. She was excited. Today, she would go to the city. She had never been to the city before. April packed her bag. She took a sandwich, an apple, and her red scarf. Then she walked to the bus stop. She sat by the window. The bus drove past fields and rivers. Slowly, the village disappeared. After a long ride, the bus stopped. April had reached the city, which was very big. There were many people, cars, buses, and bikes. Everything felt new. April's first new sight was a tall, shiny glass building. The sun made it sparkle. It was so high, April had to tilt her head to see the top. It looked like it touched the sky. April had never seen a building made of glass. In her village, houses were small and made of bricks or wood. This building was like a giant mirror. The second new thing was a yellow taxi. It zoomed past her on the road. It made a loud, honking sound. April saw the driver inside. He wore a cap and looked busy. The taxi had a small sign on top. The wheels rolled fast, and then it stopped to pick someone up. April thought the taxi looked fun and fast, like a bright yellow bee. The third thing was a big clock tower. It stood in the middle of a square. The clock was round and white, with black numbers. It made a loud sound as the hands moved. April looked up and listened. It was almost noon. The clock tower looked old and strong. It watched over the people below like a giant guardian. The fourth thing was a man playing music on the street. He sat on a small chair with a guitar. He wore a colorful hat. His fingers moved quickly on the strings. The song he played was fast and cheerful. People walked by and dropped coins in a box. April stood for a while and listened. The music made her feel like dancing. The fifth thing was a shop with many colors. The windows were full of toys, books, and bright clothes. April saw red balloons, shiny shoes, and dolls in dresses. There were puzzles and picture books on the shelves. The shop was full of light and color. April pressed her face to the glass and looked at everything with wide eyes. The sixth thing was a train going under the ground. April heard a loud rumble. Then she saw stairs leading down. She followed the signs and peeked below. A train came fast through a tunnel. It was long and silver. The doors opened and people got on and off. The train disappeared into the dark tunnel again. April had never seen an underground train. It felt like magic. The seventh thing was a food stand. It stood on the corner of a street. The man behind it was cooking hot noodles. The smell was warm and tasty. Steam rose into the air. April's stomach growled. She sat on a bench nearby and ate her sandwich. As she ate, she watched people buy food and smile. The city was full of smells and flavors. The eighth thing was a park in the middle of the city. It had green grass, trees, and flowers. Birds flew from branch to branch. Children were running and playing. Some people sat on benches and read books. There was a small pond with ducks. April walked on the soft grass. It reminded her of home. The ninth thing was a tall statue. It stood near a fountain. The statue was of a woman holding a torch. She looked brave and strong. The 10th thing was a light that changed colors. It hung above the road. It turned red, yellow, and green. People waited when the light was red. They crossed when it turned green. April waited too. Then she walked with the crowd. She had never seen a light that helped people cross the road. It was smart and helpful. After a long day, April felt tired. The city was full of wonder. It was loud and busy. It was fun and full of life, but April missed the quiet hills and trees of her village. She walked back to the bus stop. She held her red scarf. She smiled as the bus took her home. The sky turned orange. The stars began to shine. When April reached the village, it was dark. She walked into her small house. She felt happy and sleepy. She thought about the 10 new things she saw. April lay in bed and closed her eyes. The city stayed in her dreams.